Right, today I'm going to look at that Back to the Future track. I think one of the key things to trying to learn this track is to know the track. It's not the same, right? Listening to it and then pausing it and then trying to play it, because whatever you're trying to play it on is probably never going to sound quite right for a lot of people, which is going to make it a nightmare. Plus, listening to it doesn't actually really stimulate the brain to take it in. It's easier if you hum the tune, if you can sort of, when you're trying to learn a tune you like, you tend to hum it anyway, or you whistle it. But that won't just help you find it on the keyboard, it'll help you with your timing as well, do you know what I mean? Like, right? Da 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 da. It gets that. If you can get the timing going, you need the timing as well. I used to get ridiculed for it all the time as a kid. I was constantly humming tunes. I couldn't even play the keyboard back then, so everyone just thought I was mad, do you know what I mean? But I think the other thing is, you also need to learn chords. A lot of people say, oh, you don't need to learn chords and all. You do. You need to have a basic principle, and chords are easy to learn. If you pick a tune you like, your chords give you more, especially like if you've got a keyboard where you use the accompaniment section, where you only have to hold the chord and change round. You do need to learn chords. That way you'll get an idea of the finger structure for the notes within the chord, and then you can start messing around with it and playing octaves and that, which for Back to the Future it depends on them for the uplifting around the back of it. When I recently did a cover of this, which there's a link to it in the description, and I ended up having to play it in more comfortable places and then transpose it on the computer itself, because a lot of it I just couldn't quite play it where it was. And if you've watched other tutorials on YouTube, the whole thing just looks like a nightmare. Things coming down the screen, keys lighting up and that. And it's all over the place, and it's like, how many fingers was that then? A lot of people just seem to grab a MIDI, throw it into a program and go, here's a tutorial, glad to be of help, and it's no help at all. But the one thing you do need to learn is how to play the main riff in different places, because you seem to end up in different places after the other bits. Like if I play that normal bit, like, where do I go for the next bit? That whole... Because all of a sudden now I'm here. Works, but there's other times, what was it? change depending on where you land, so you do need to learn it in a few places, because obviously that's much different, isn't it? But there was another one as well. So I hope them little bits help. They should help more than them other videos. But it's essentially a D chord, right? Which that's essentially a D. As long as it's got the G flat, which is basically an F sharp going up, G flat going back. As long as it's got that note in, the A and the D. So the D can be at either end. That's a D, that's a D. Chords can be inverted. But once you know your chord structure, obviously the chord is a D, so it's got to have the D note in it. So you could play two Ds, and then that's essentially classed as playing an octave. Now you could also choose a note from the chord. Obviously most chords have 3 notes. So if you've got your octave, you can pick an extra note from the chord. Ideally you do need to learn chord structures, just basic chords. Mess up there, that's why I normally play it somewhere else. The other thing about Back to the Future is it seems like such like a homage to John Williams. It's such a weird track. It's like the Back to the Future theme tune, you can merge it and blend it seamlessly with bits from the original Superman movie, even Raiders of the Lost Ark and Star Wars. It's mad, like it intertwines. It's like literally that bit. when that bit's coming in and that, that bit of Superman. It is, it's there, man. They have the same rises as well, do you know what I mean? They start on the D, they bounce from the F to the G, back to the C. You definitely need to listen to the tune and then run it round in your head. Don't keep listening to the original, otherwise your brain isn't gonna be able to find it on the keys, and you're not gonna be able to know where you're meant to jump to. But that's the other thing. If you know what notes you can keep hold of, and you can keep hold of that, it's part of the D, it's part of the G. So yeah, have a mess with it. All the other little fiddly bits, I'm not even going into them, do you know what I mean? Because the video will just be like, yeah, an hour long and that. Anyway, good luck with it.